Hey, it's Mark here at Cedar Falls Farm. What do you do on a Friday night? Well, I'm not going out anywhere, that's for sure. So, looks like a good time to be in the shop, doing a little processing. So, this is what I'm going to work on tonight. I will not finish processing everything. Let's put this up over here where I normally have it when I'm doing some processing. So, we are going to cut up some lamb and some beef fat to make merguez sausage. I have a 13 or 15.35 pound ribeye, that's 6.96 kgs. It will be cut into steaks. I have pork shoulder butt, 20.37 pounds or 9.24 kgs. A pork loin that's 8.25 pounds or 3.74 kgs. And I have 2.74 pounds of fat back or 1.24 kgs. And I'm going to make Italian sausage. I only need about 2 pounds of the pork loin to add to make 25 pounds of sausage. So the rest of it I will cut into small steaks and we will cube it. So this is what I'm going to cut up. I'm probably going to do about 2 pounds of merguez, and I will include, or fat for the merguez, I will include the recipe, an online recipe, an excellent recipe. This guy has a lot of different recipes and his is the absolute best I've found. I will give you a link to it and give him a shout out for what he has done with this recipe, because it is just like what you would normally get in Europe or in North Africa. Here's my ribeye that'll be cut up, and then I have the rest of my pork over here that will be cutting up. Here are my ingredients that will be going into the merguez. This is one of those, I do not use anything pre-packaged on this. This is a blend. These three right here, the fennel seed, cumin seed, and coriander seed, I will toast those on the stove top in a frying pan, and I'll use my mortar and pestle to grind them up, and then they will get blended in. We have harissa, which is a Tunisian paste, a hot paste, coarse kosher salt, paprika, and garlic. Now there's one ingredient that I'm not including in there. This is hot enough, it will probably end up making me sick, but I will have to live with that, and that's cayenne. I'm not adding the cayenne because it really has a bad effect on me. I get sick, feel like I have the flu or something. Don't know what's going on as I get older, but it's like that, and I'll probably feel the same using the harissa now, but I'm going to do it anyway. And some of this is going camping with us. Hopefully I will get this loaded before we go, but I'm not certain. And we will be testing out with the rest of this. Let's see, I've got 8, so we'll have about 6 pounds of this that we'll cut into chops and run it through the tenderizer. And I want you to see real quick, here is the other one. You can see the difference in construction. This one is like here, and that's what you have. I mean, this one's a joke anyway. Don't like it. It's junk. LEM can do better. So we will be trying this one out. TooGooD, I will put a link to it. I bought this. I get no compensation. It was not provided. This came out of my pocket. So I'm going to pause this, get everything prepped, and we'll get started. All right, let's get back at it here. We're going to cut up a ribeye and get my gloves on. Everything's cleaned up again, and will be cleaned up again and again and again. This used to get a lot of work in it every day. For years we raised chickens, laying hens, and at one time had about 300. So we had a whole lot of chickens and a whole lot of eggs, and I process eggs all the time. All right, let's get started here. I want to get this as close as I can so you can see what I'm doing here, hopefully. This first one is always just like a breakfast trim. You can see this, it's just a thin piece, and it gets thrown in a pan or gets thrown on the griddle and ends up making a pretty good steak and egg. All right, I'm gonna stand up and do this so I can see. Try to do a decent cut on my steaks. Good looking ribeye. Going a little bit thicker, actually a lot thicker. I want to get 4 really good steaks to have while we're camping. Share with Dean and Becky. And replenish the freezer. Another, I think, is a worthy, good-looking steak. I bought these at a Restaurant Depot. I had to say, they look really nice. This whole ribeye does. Wow, just look at this. That is really beautiful. This is why I cut my own meat up. It's just always so much better like this. You know, if you're doing this just as a hobbyist and you like kind of stretching your dollars and you want to eat good and know what you're eating, you don't have to have a meat saw. These are cheap knives bought off Amazon. They're easy to put an edge on. I always keep a couple sharp while I'm doing this, and I keep my steel laying out. I actually have 2. This does a quick buff edge. If I want to do more of a honed edge, I can use this steel. But they're good knives to use like this. They do a decent job. And for a home hobbyist, you know, it's not bad. More puppy tacks there. Still call him a puppy most of the time when he's 10 years old. I have to, while I'm doing this, give a big, huge shout out to my cousin Julie up in Philadelphia. She's in Philly. Her and Chris got married late this afternoon. Great people. When they come down, it's always a good time. I really wanted to get up for their wedding and celebrate with them. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to since we had the hurricane hit. I've been extremely busy here at the farm and with the fire department, and also Mrs. Farmer, she's not capable of doing as much anymore, so I get tied up with her a lot. But you know, I wouldn't have it any other way, because on January 26, 2001, when we said our vows, it would be for better or for worse. As I told her recently, I didn't know it was going to be this much worse, jokingly. But, you know, that's what you do when you love somebody. You stick in there. When they have hard times, you have hard times with them, and you stay there with them and you help them get through them. And, you know, it's part of getting older. The health issues come up, try to grab hold of us every once in a while, but we just keep going, keep persevering. So back to my original thought before I got sidetracked. Julie and Chris, wishing you both a very happy marriage, and sorry I couldn't be there tonight, but love you both and I'm so happy for you. Look forward to seeing you the next time. All right, so folks, we have cut up this entire ribeye. I will take it inside and vacuum seal it as soon as I finish with the rest of this process. Those are some absolutely beautiful steaks, and I will be very pleased to take some of these down to the beach with us and share them with Dean and Becky. All right, I'm going to pause for a second and get the rest, the next batch of stuff over here, and we will pick back up. Okay, let's get started on this. This looks like it could have been some kind of snake. I'm going to try to get about 2 pounds off of this end, maybe. I don't know how close I am here. We'll find out in a second. Maybe on 2.32. So trim one of these off. 2.03. Perfect. So I'm going to drop this in here in the tote for now, and we will cut it up in a little bit. We're going to try to cut this one up. All of these will be chops, and I am going to run them through the cuber, the manual cuber. I will cube all these and that will be all the cubing that takes place tonight. Hopefully that one will run through. Let's see if we can kind of get this thing over here. I want to get it kind of close so you can see. All right. Tell you what, I'm going to rinse out this. I had the lamb in. Check that out. That looks good. Man, you can dredge that. That will be so good. Yep. Should have bought this to start out. Same thing there. Wow. Looking forward to the next deer because it will be much easier to cut it up into chops and cube it. I also have a cutter that goes in this that will cut it into strips for making jerky. I need to get my dehydrator out and we'll make some jerky one time. Haven't done that in a while. I used to like to make jerky a lot. Whoops. Funny, pork loin is kind of pork loin. God, my southern's coming out. It is kind of tough. It's so lean. And I thought before it would probably be much better run through a cuber. And we will find out soon enough, maybe tomorrow. Alright, so I'm going to stop this right here for a few minutes, take this in and see if I can talk Mrs. into wrapping them in plastic, and then we'll shrink wrap them. And I'll pick back up, I'll bring a new battery out. Alright, we're back at it. Try to adjust this cut here. I got me a nighttime beverage, say yes to adventure. I'm having an adventure. It's after 10:30 at night here on the East Coast. And I'm having fun in my workshop. cut up 25 pounds of meat and fat. Shouldn't take too terribly long, hopefully. You know, I'm debating on actually trying something different with this and putting my seasoning in. And I shouldn't change horses in midstream though. I've had good luck doing it the way I've always done it. So for this, I'll probably just stick with what I'm doing. I've got this pork butt that's on the cutting board here, and I will cut it up before I put the next one on to cut up. I will cut up about half of the fat back. Make sure we get it blended in good. Yeah, one thing I hate about the cuts I get at Costco, the boneless, they've trimmed the fat. And I know people that smoke pork butts to make pork barbecue like that fat cap. I like the fat cap because I need fat in my sausage. But for whatever reason, it's trimmed out. And it probably comes to them that way. I'm pretty sure they're not repackaging it. I tried to talk to guys at Sam's Club one time and they're selling me beef fat they were trimming, but they can't do that. I don't know what to do with it. Probably throw it away. Would have been good using my deer. I have a lot of hobbies, something to talk about while I'm cutting up meat. For about the past 3 weeks, I have been studying Spanish. It's funny, I had occasionally, when I was still working for Michelin before I retired, I would visit one of our factories in Mexico a couple of times a year. I always managed to get by, and there were a good many people that spoke English, but I like to go out in the evenings too, try to make my way. And I'd learned enough useful phrases and words in Spanish to survive, but I wanted to learn more, try to get conversational, so I have been using Duolingo every day for about the past 3 weeks, and I'm starting to make some progress, although I'm not going to try to use that right now. Probably have some people laughing. I do speak French. It was necessary living there. Yo hablo Francia. So that's Spanish for I speak French. Yo hablo español. I speak Spanish. Very little. Maybe I'll get better at it. Go back and visit my buddy down there, Vicente and his family again. And I have another buddy from Mexico that lives here in the States. I'd like to visit with he and his wife. think it's very important that you keep your friendships active. That was one thing I enjoyed about my work in my corporate life, was making friends all over the world, but not just colleagues, but friends. And you folks, you know who you are. Some I don't get to keep in touch with anymore, but I know if I ran into them, I'd still be friends, and I've lost some along the way. One of my buddies in Mexico, Alfredo Leal, he was a good guy. God rest his soul. Found out he had cancer, and within months he was gone. But Alfredo, always called him El Guapo. One of my other buddies down there, Guillermo Daza. Guillermo was funny. He said Alfredo has a disease. He walks across the shop, and when he gets near a pretty lady, he almost faints and has to put his arms around him to stay up, keep him from falling down. So I started calling him El Guapo, the handsome one. And he was going too soon. Good people though. But maybe my friend up north, Carlos and Liliana, if you were watching this, getting to see me process meat. And you know, I'm speaking of you and thinking of you up there. And my friend from Spain that I worked with in France, Javier Bravo Morales, and Flo, his wife, and his kids. I got to see all of them after they were born. Javier and I would hang out some together in Clermont-Ferrand. He was single, I was freshly married, but my wife was not there yet. I was just kind of his wingman. And Flo, I will not tell any stories about Javier. Javier is mi amigo from a long time ago. So meat processing is coming along, history lessons, talking about the past and some hobbies. And you know, I'd like for this to be more than a one-way conversation. I love feedback on here. I like to hear some of your enjoyments and some of your likes. It's a small world. We need to treat it like that and be kind to each other. Get to know each other. This one is puppy tax. Got a vein in it. Don't like the way it looks. But Link, he don't care. Muy delicioso. The guys, when I bought this pork fat back, told me it was like butter. It would just melt. And I can see that now that it's coming towards room temperature. Oh, so soft. Let's get this up here in the picture here. Beautiful, beautiful fat back. Wow. Extremely soft. This is going to blend in very good. I will have to chill it down good to keep it from turning to mush. I can tell as soft as this is, it will break down quickly. This would be absolutely excellent fat to use in dry cured sausages. One day I hope to have a drying chamber, curing chamber, and maybe make some, but not yet. I got too many irons in the fire. Not getting any younger, but oh gone. I can't do everything I want to do, and I want to do most everything within reason. Say legally and morally. Wow, such beautiful lard fat here. Wow. I'm sorry for that noise in the background. The ice maker is making ice and it gets noisy. I don't want to turn it off. Make sure I have plenty for camping. All I'm doing is just kind of mixing this fat in with it. It's not imperative that it's totally blended in, but the more I can have it mixed in as I grind this, it will be a better homogenized mix. Okay. I can see the finish line. Some of you have hung in here with me. Probably only a handful, but I appreciate you sticking around. Some of you have seen me do this a bunch of times, and I'm probably not talking to you because you've already left. There we go. When one blade gets dull, you can just grab another one. So by the time I get this video uploaded, there will have been quite a few more that I have uploaded. I'm trying to catch up. Today, while I'm doing this, is actually November the 1st and All Saints Day. And I've loaded a video earlier tonight that I shot on August the 11th. It's taken me a while to get around to getting everything done with our busy schedules and with the hurricane that hit. We were without power here for about 9 days, I believe. So the focus was not on this kind of stuff. That's one reason I'm doing this now, is because pretty much lost everything in our freezers. Threw away a lot of deer, a lot of chicken, probably about 40 plus pounds of pork butts that would have become sausage. Okay, you're getting close. I've got a little bit more over here. I'm gonna cut in some fat. and that will finish the meat processing part. Probably about 5 more minutes or so of work. I hope no more than that. I'm getting tired too. And I still need to blend my spices for the merguez and put it in and let it sit overnight in the refrigerator so I can process it tomorrow morning. And I'm not so tired, but definitely not fresh. All right. This does not need to go in there. And this will not go in there. So if you notice, I am not taking my time and cutting this as fine as I did the lamb, because it doesn't need to be. I don't have that same amount of fat and that same type of fat. Although this fat will break down fairly easy, it's going to be really cold. This is going in the freezer tonight, and tomorrow morning I will break it out. It may not be frozen solid, which is very good, and I will turn it into Italian sausage. Look at that. might regret not making breakfast sausage with this, as good as this looks. Soft and sticky. Okay, I'm going to pick this up. I want to get pork fat off of it. There we are. I have blended it together, and I will put plastic wrap over it and put it in the freezer for tonight. Okay, let's grind up our first grind for 25 pounds of sweet Italian sausage. This shouldn't take too long. Everything is cold, almost too cold. But I did decide when I was cutting this up, before I put it in the freezer, that I would blend in my spices. I want to see how it works this time. So they should be very much blended in. As fast as I can feed it. The chunks of meat are still partially frozen together, so it's taking a little longer. Goat outside the door here. It's a beautiful fall day here in South Carolina. Got the door open, enjoying the weather, and goats are walking up. It's a whole lot quicker to do the first grind than it is to cut everything up to get ready for the first grind. this, since you've seen me do this so many times, I'm giving myself a thumbs up. When I'm editing, this will be the point where we go fast. Okay, just had to stop for a second. You never know what's going to show up in the processing area. Our little goat Nora. Okay, let's get back to this. This is ridiculous. This is more of a crazy house than a farm sometimes. Sausage. Been a very long day here on the farm. Almost midnight, about 4 minutes to midnight, and looks like we're ready to do the final pass. So let's see how this is going to work. That just doesn't sound good. But that looks good. That's all that matters. It takes longer to do the second grind because the meat by this time is starting to get really tacky and it wants to stick to everything. It just takes a little longer to get it to process, but that looks absolutely beautiful. You can see it coming down here, beautiful strands, and I am not going to stuff this into casings. This is all going to be bulk pack 1 pound bags. It's excellent addition into spaghetti sauce. A lot of other recipes. I mean, it's good as a sausage, but it's also good as a meat. We do meatballs, Italian meatballs. Absolutely love the way this looks. Everything's good and cold. But with 25 pounds, it's I'm not sure it's going to stay this way long. I've tried making 50 pounds at a time, but this this number 8 grinder, it's just a little bit small for doing bulk quantities. Those big bulk quantities at least. But since I'm leaving on a camping trip tomorrow morning, I've got to get this finished. So we will be up as late as we need to be up tonight. The missus is kind of slow getting her stuff together. So I just put her stuff in the camper a few minutes ago. She's not Spanish, but she understands mañana. Everything happens tomorrow. This is very similar to making breakfast sausage. Honestly, the only difference in this and breakfast sausage is the seasonings. It's the same basic process. This time I did buy fat back, like lard fat from our local butcher shop. It was beautiful fat. If I ever do dry curing, I'm going to use that same kind of fat. That's a good fat content. You can see all the white in it. This is really going to cook up. I added some extra seasoning. This is a 25-pound batch, and I used a bag, which is normally what you would use. I just wanted a little more flavor, so I'll probably put about a quarter of another bag. This is for my taste anyway. Again, this is AC leg seasoning, their sweet Italian sausage. I have a visitor coming into the area here. Go lay down, buddy. Link. Good boy. If you ever want to know a little bit about Link, he has his own playlist on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, I should say. I call him a farm dog extraordinaire. The weather's getting right where he can ride places good men, not have to worry about the heat, and he loves to go. Gets upset when he can't go with me, like a little kid. Link is 10 years old, has thyroid issues, takes meds every day, he has allergies. takes meds every day for the allergies. He's a good pup. So I am 6 minutes in, and I have probably done not even a quarter. Have to use the stomper a lot more doing this. You have to pay attention to the heat buildup. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the recording here in a second, because I just wanted to give a good demonstration of what I'm doing when I'm processing meats. The reason I'm processing so much lately is after the hurricane we lost a lot, and I do mean a lot of meats that we had in the freezer, so I'm trying to start over again, throw away all my Italian sausage and all of my ground brisket, a lot of chicken, burgers, yeah, you name it, shrimp. Some things were saved. Our neighbors helped with what they could because we were camping when the hurricane hit here. We didn't get back in until about 36 hours later. Okay, no need in you folks suffering through what I'm doing here tonight. I will say that this stuff is sticking really well. It's good looking meat. So I am going to take a glove off here. Take two gloves off. Okay, here we go. I've already put on the hoodie tonight. I did take a short break. Neighbors called and asked me to ride up. They were watching the Texas A&M game out back of their house on the TV, so went up, took a break for a little bit to get away from this long day of everything I've been doing, and watched a little bit of the game and came back down here and got right back to work. So I appreciate everybody sticking around. I will have links to the, I'll call them the educational videos, how to make breakfast sausage. And I should have another video dropping soon. It should be on before I do this one. That will be how to make merguez sausage. And I will have a link to that embedded in here. And also I will have a link to the cuber that I bought. It's a cuber slicer. I didn't demonstrate slicing on it, but these are things that I use, and if I can learn something and save the trouble of you spending money on something that's not worth it, then I don't mind sharing that. So thanks for joining, thanks for watching, and please, if you haven't subscribed, just hit the button and subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. That's going to be it from Cedar Falls Farm.